Hey everybody, Mr. the Fanboy here, Douglas Blair Roberts, the Super Vader 400, and of course, the brown skin human here, back from my very first live video review in a long time. This is my review of All Elite Wrestling AEW Dynamite Episode 2. This is also my second thoughts on AEW and a brand new opinion on AEW. Yes, my opinion on All Elite Wrestling has changed since the last All Elite Wrestling video I have done. This show right here, just like last week's show, was a phenomenal show. That's two good shows from All Elite Wrestling. This was another awesome night of wrestling. I'm only gonna talk briefly about the four the four male matches. I didn't care much for the women's match, and I actually went to go get my Chinese food my dad bought for me downstairs while that was on. So, with that being said, I won't be talking about that. With that being said, let's get this video started right now. I am all in. Yes, like I said, this was another awesome night of wrestling. There will be a late out of date review of the very first episode of All Elite Wrestling, which I thoroughly enjoyed on my Super Vader 400 channel. But 3 of the matches from that show will be reviewed on this channel. I didn't really feel like talking about reviewing any of the matches from this show individually, but since I enjoyed them that much, I may review them separately in the future. With that being said, let's get started with this review right here. The very first match was the Young Bucks taking on the Private Party, which this match right here, I'm watching the replay, the encore presentation right here. This match right here was a pretty good match. I got the prediction wrong, and I didn't like the winners of this match. I think the Private Party won. I looked away during the finish, so I don't remember how they won, but I'm pretty sure they won because the celebration showed, the commercials showed them celebrating with the crowd and showed the Young Bucks all mad and disappointed. But yeah, I really wanted the Young Bucks to win this match. Private Party, I don't have a problem with them, but I don't like them because they don't look like professional wrestlers. So, yeah. The next match of the night was another good match. This was Jimmy Havoc, the heel, taking on Darby Allin, the babyface, and this was an awesome match. Well, actually, I don't think Jimmy Havoc's a heel in this promotion. Yeah, he's not. He was just a heel in this match. He's not a heel in this promotion, though. I got it confused with MLW, which he also wrestles for. But this was an awesome fight. This was an awesome fight right here. Much to my surprise, Darby Allin won. But yeah, I actually had Jimmy Havoc winning this, so I got the prediction wrong again. But when I saw next week's wrestling schedule, it had Darby Allin challenging Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship, and they had to make him look credible here by giving him a win over Jimmy Havoc. Then Jericho, I think this segment was first before the Jimmy Havoc Darby Allin match, but I talked about the Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin match first. Was Jericho coming out delivering an awesome promo, putting over each member of his brand new stable, Sammy Guevara, Jack Hager, and of course LAX. LAX. I liked everyone in this stable except for LAX. LAX. I was a huge fan of their Impact Wrestling work. In All Elite Wrestling, they only had to do one match and make one appearance for me to become two of my most hated wrestlers in All Elite Wrestling, man. All Elite Wrestling. The last week's main event was good, but the LAX, they stunk up the joint in that match with their spot fest garbage, and I already hate them in All Elite Wrestling. I love them in Impact Wrestling. I already hate them in All Elite Wrestling. I love Sammy Guevara, man. And Jack Hager had one of the coolest debuts of all time. The crowd went nuts last week. So I love this. Like I said, Jericho, he put over each member of the stable, man. Jericho put over each member of the stable, talked about how each member got there, and talked about how much he hates the Rhodes family to set up his pay-per-view title match with Cody, of course Cody Rhodes, and he bragged about how he's gonna kick Dustin Rhodes' butt tonight. So yeah, an awesome promo. Then after this, we had we had the women's match, and then after the women's match, we had Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley defeating Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard, and after the match, Kenny Omega came after the match was over. Kenny Omega came out with some barbed wire, and had a cool stare down with Jon Moxley. Then Adrian Neville, Pop, who was on commentary, came from behind and attacked Kenny Omega. Much to my surprise, much to the disappointment of Jon Moxley, who I could have sworn was a heel because of his actions last week attacking Kenny Omega. But yeah. Then of course we got to the main event of the night. Adam Page and Dustin Runnels taking on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara in a phenomenal main event, with Jericho winning after distraction from Jack Hager with the bionic elbow. After the match was over, LAX came in and immediately attacked Dustin Rhodes and Page, what's his face, oh yeah, much to my surprise, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, who I could have sworn was a heel in this promotion too, came to the aid of Cody Rhodes. And I thought, okay, since he's a heel in MLW, he's going to turn heel here too by betraying his so-called best friend Cody Rhodes. No, he immediately attacked LAX and Jericho with the chair, to the roar of the crowd. The crowd really makes these moments, makes these moments good, man. Makes these moments good. Then he got way too cocky, celebrating and walking to a code breaker from Jericho. Then of course, what else happened on this show? Oh yes, and then the Young Bucks came out. Who should have came out first? They came to Dustin Rhodes' aid, and they got beat up too. And they briefly evened the odds, but they got beat up too. Then while Jericho was on the outside, then the lights went out, and I thought a new wrestler was gonna debut, but it was just Cody Rhodes. To the joy of the crowd, attacking everyone and having a cool stare down with with Jericho. Then LAX started attacking him. Then Darby Allin came in and attacked Jericho as he was leaving, setting up their match next week. Like I said, an awesome edition of AEW All Elite Wrestling. Now I give my thoughts on All Elite Wrestling now. Several weeks ago, you saw me do a rant on All Elite Wrestling based on their Double or Nothing pay-per-view. See, at first, I judged All Elite Wrestling based on the pay-per-views, but I'm like, okay, maybe these are just the pay-per-views where they're just trying to get several cool wrestlers out there, where they're just trying to get as much talent out there as possible to see what you're going to be in store for, and maybe the storylines, the feuds, the promos, everything that makes pro wrestling, they will be on the main show, which is AEW Dynamite. And I was right. All of those pay-per-views were mediocre to garbage. They were average, mediocre to garbage. That would be my rating for all of those pay-per-views. These two editions of All Elite Wrestling were great, and you have finally converted me to an All Elite Wrestling fan. These have been the best shows since the very first show you did, All In, from 2018. That was the best show and best pay-per-view you ever did, and these shows rival it right here. I am now officially all in with All Elite Wrestling, man. All Elite Wrestling is not the best promotion, but it's the biggest. I wish MLW, TNA, New Japan is this big and has this crowd, so I can take them off this list. NWA Anarchy here in Cornelia, Georgia. What else? World Series Wrestling in Australia, which is almost as big as this. And what else? What else? Oh yeah, the new National Wrestling Alliance, which is almost as big as this. But I wish those crowds and arenas were as big as this right here. Those products I just mentioned are way better than this because they have way better wrestlers and stars. But this has the big crowd, has the atmosphere and the large crowds, which make these supposed mediocre moments really awesome. Jack Swagger coming in and attacking anyone else in any other promotion would probably be lame. But All Elite Wrestling, because of the crowd and the booking, and mostly the crowd, they managed to make that moment awesome. So, yes, I am all in, All Elite Wrestling. And you know what? Not right now, but maybe someday they probably will be WWE one day. They've already becoming the highest rated program on TNT. Which doesn't say much because TNT hasn't really been much of anything. I haven't heard much of anything about TNT in like several years. This is the first time I tuned into TNT full time since 2001, which is the other historical significance. It's the first wrestling show on TNT since 2001. Almost quote unquote 18 years since the last wrestling show was on TNT. So yes, I am all in. All Elite Wrestling, man. They have converted me. I was the biggest AEW hater coming in because of what they were doing. Number one, not working with Impact Wrestling, which I'm still mad at. The only person I've seen work for Impact Wrestling in this show is Tommy Dreamer, who was on one of their pay-per-views in a Battle Royal. But not working with Impact Wrestling, all because of the Young Bucks, all because of their time there when they got to understand they were not as in demand. They were not as in demand as they are now. It's the same with New Japan with Okada. They hate TNA for not developing Okada, but Okada, he was a junior heavyweight Japanese wrestler who couldn't speak English. I didn't think he would become this cool Rainmaker character later. When I saw him in 2013 challenging AJ Styles, I couldn't believe that was the same guy. So that's why I hated Impact. That was the first reason I hated All Elite Wrestling. The second reason was on those these were wrestling shows. Those pay-per-views, apart from the main events and every match featuring Jimmy Havoc and John Moxley and Jericho, every match was some lame spot fest garbage. Indie spot fest garbage. I love indie wrestling. And indie wrestling is not that indie flippy stuff. And I do not like the indie flippy stuff. Which makes wrestling look even more fake and lame. Love indie wrestling. Love high flying, but do not like the indie flippy stuff. So, Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm done. I've said everything I want to say about All Elite Wrestling. So, with that being said, let's hit my music and get out of here. Turn the video off now if you want to hear the rest of the song.